Half-Life, one of the greatest first-person shooters of its time. Released for the PC by Valve in 1998, Half-Life 1 raised the bar for the FPS genre, and with its success, it was a call for Valve to continue the series with a sequel. 6 years and a troubling development later, Half-Life 2 was released, and it did not disappoint. While the ending was pretty abrupt, it did promise a continuation for Gordon Freeman and Alyx's fan story. So Valve released Episode 1, a continuation of Half-Life 2. While it was short, it did expand on Half-Life 2's base game content and set up for what would become the best game in the series, Episode 2. Episode 2 really showcased what the Source engine was capable of. It was longer than Episode 1, and it set up a lot of speculation with the tanker ship Borealis, the link between the Half-Life series and the Portal series, who or even what is G-Man, and before we could get any answers, it ended.
Dad! Dad, please! Dad! Oh my god! No! No!
And then nothing for 13 years. Until, in typical Valve fashion, they announced a new entry within the Half-Life series through Twitter. The title will be called Half-Life Alyx, a VR-only title set between the events of Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2, so like a pre-sequel of sorts. And after a few trailers and some gameplay showcases, Half-Life Alyx was released on March 23rd, 2020. Did it live up to the hype, and could this even lead up to Half-Life 3? The game is set a few years after Half-Life 1, where Earth surrendered to the oppressive alien forces known as the Combine right after the 7-Hour War. In this period, Gordon Freeman is in stasis, awaiting his assignment from G-Man. In the fictional location of City 17, we play as 19-year-old Alyx, who is set out to rescue her dad, Eli Vance, from the Combined forces who captured him right after he witnessed our secret experiments within a quarantine zone. Alyx teams up with Russell, who then gives you the Russells, or better known as the Gravity Gloves, and with his help, Russell secures you a secret transport into the quarantine zone. There, you familiarize yourself with the mechanics of the game, how to use the Gravity Gloves, shoot your guns, and how to deal with various creatures from the dimension of Zen, as well as Combined soldiers, while at the same time immersing yourself into Valve's expansive universe. The immersion played a big part for the development of the game, and I'm surprised how little similar VR titles followed suit. The most recent example for me is the remake of Vertigo Games' Arizona Sunshine. And while it takes a lot of inspiration from the mechanics of Half-Life Alyx, it still lacks the polish and functionality that Alyx has. The same could be said with game studio Stress Level Zero, where their VR title Boneworks being a direct influence to the development of Half-Life Alyx. A cool detail in Alyx is how faithful the game is to prior Half-Life series, like using old sound effects, and even having the same lamp flicker that is the exact same pattern since Quake 1. Since the Source and Source 2 engines are basically one big revamp of the id Tech engine. Anyways, back to the story. Alyx meets a troubled Vortigern who's been experimented on by a Combine. Because of his experiments, he got brain damage, but managed to flee before it got worse for him.
I have a brain injury.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dad.
My brain is injured.
The Vortigern explains that more of his friends had been captured and that their energy is being harnessed for an experiment, perhaps the same experiment that Alyx's dad knew before being captured. The Vortigern guides Alyx to the Northern Star, an abandoned hotel that has the best interactive prop in the game, the piano. But more on that in a bit. On the way to the hotel, Alyx derails a train that has her dad in it. But before you board the train, you see one of these, an advisor. While their origins are unknown, and if they even are part of the combined forces, they are responsible for the future death of Eli Vance. They also possess a power so immense they could probably turn you to dust with their brains. Alyx rescues her dad, and one thing I love about this scene is the voice acting.
Where is the vault?
Dad, where's the vault?
Look to the northern star.
I didn't even realize that the Alyx voice actress was changed, since we are playing a younger version of Alyx. Alyx goes back on track to the hotel and finally gets a glimpse of the experiment. You get to know from Eli that it's a vault of sorts and it houses a weapon, maybe something that could even get the Combine off of Earth. Not long after, you finally arrive at the Northern Star. You fight your way to the top to free the captured Vortigaunt, and while the hotel is one of the weaker levels of the game, it still has some of my favorite rooms in terms of immersion and atmosphere. It was fun interacting with everyday activities, like brushing your teeth or other necessities, since you see it from a head-mounted display at this time. After reaching the top of the hotel, you free the Vortigaunt and sever its connection to the vault. This Vortigaunt agrees with Alyx that she should head to the vault while it frees the other Vortigaunts. After escaping the headcrab hell that was the Northern Star, we arrived to possibly the scariest part of the franchise, ironically the chapter name being called Jeff. In this chapter, Alyx reaches a vodka distillery, but she's not there alone. We meet a combined scientist who's been fused with the scent biology and has become an amalgamation-like monster who can't see, but he can hear. Because of this, you hide and throw bottles to distract him, and eventually you get the chance to either spare him or crush him. Either way, you get an achievement for it.
Oh my god, Jeff, are you okay?
After Jeff's demise, you get a passage to a tunnel, one that leads to a zoo not far from the vault. While the zoo doesn't really add that much to the story, it does a lot to establish the location of City 17, since we hear the language through some speakers at the zoo. And we finally get some acknowledgement that we are in Sofia, Bulgaria, which I always found fascinating. After finding a Death Stranding Easter egg and escaping the zoo, we see that the last energy source of the vault is being destroyed, and before the vault crashes to the ground, its emergency backup generators are activated, so more work for Alyx. She then heads towards a tower that could disable the generator, but the road is not easy. She fights even more combined enemies, and a new enemy type, the Antlions, last seen in Half-Life 2 where we control them as Gordon Freeman with Bugbait. On her way, Alyx notices a silhouette, talking to one of the advisors about the experiment on board the vault. She then mentions that the experiment is not a weapon, but a person, one that was responsible for the Black Mesa incident. Alyx and her team insist that it is Gordon Freeman, since he was a part of the experiment that led to the Zen dimension invading Earth. If Alyx frees Gordon, this could mean victory for Earth, so decide that Alyx should head to the vault. At first, I thought the silhouette of the lady was Judith Mossman, but fans online would disagree, since after digging through the files of the game, it shows that it clearly isn't. Either way, I think it's awesome to introduce someone who has direct influence to and from the advisors. But this conversation is struck short, after Alyx is noticed by a combined city scanner, which means she has to fight the rest of her way to the tower. On your way to the tower, there's one last area worth mentioning, one that has a soundtrack that's been used in previous games. Cavern ambience in Half-Life 1, and 0 Point Energy Field in Half-Life 2. Why they chose this track, I don't know why, but either way, it's a cool callback to the roots of the game. After reaching the top of the tower, and before Alyx can board the vault, Eli expresses his gratitude for Alyx, and also gives one of my favorite quotes in gaming.
Time to go rescue the savior of humanity.
You know, honey, you haven't been doing too bad yourself. Earth could have used you in the 7-Hour War.
Maybe we'd have lasted 8.
This really shows that no matter how hard Earth's forces would have fought against the Combine, they would lose no matter what, since the Combine forces on Earth are an outhouse compared to ones outside of Earth. Alyx gets access to a control panel that connects the tower to the vault with a bridge, but she's in quite the predicament. She doesn't know what lever to pull. So after you pull a bunch of random levers, you send the vault crashing into a building and the screen fades to black. Alyx finds herself amid some rubble, but now has easier access to the vault. But before she can head up, she notices Striders, an enemy type from Half-Life 2 that can spear their legs through a human body and shoot deadly lasers. But luckily, it's dead, right? No. The Strider awakens and Alyx has to run to a Combine grenade launcher to kill it. I always liked this section a lot. Hiding and running between walls and everyday objects is quite fun. My only gripe, however, is that the section showers you in healing items, so you don't have to worry about dying too much. After finally killing the Strider, the vault's trajectory beam activates and Alyx enters it. On her way up to the vault, Russell explains that her comms won't be working within the vault, and also he's saying goodbye to her, which always felt heartful and sincere. This moment is cut short when Eli tells Alyx not to enter the vault, and before he can explain why, we lose communication with him. And we also lose all of our items. We have now entered the vault. This is the final chapter of the game. We are inside an apartment complex, and as we delve deeper into it, we see visions of people stuck in time. Objects floating around and the shapes and proportions of the complex are as you would only see it in your dreams. And as soon as we can see outside of the apartment, we see this. The vault itself, shaped like some kind of interdimensional prison. But just who is imprisoned within it? Could it be him? What I also love about this chapter the most is the soundtrack. It sounds a lot like a twisted orchestra from another dimension. It conveys the interdimensional mystery perfectly. Before we reach the vault, we get to experience a segment that is very similar to the part in episode 1, where you get an ultra-charged version of the gravity gun. Your gravity gloves are able to pull energy into it, and from the gloves, you can shoot said energy onto enemies. You feel so powerful, you could probably take on the rest of the Combine forces on Earth. But before this segment gets too dragged out, you finally reach the vault itself. There, you get a chance to free this man. But is it Gordon Freeman? I just love how clueless Alyx is about this, since during the events of the game, she's never even met Gordon Freeman yet. But as it turns out, he didn't free Gordon. You have freed G-Man, perhaps one of the most mysterious characters in video game history, and Alyx has just secured his escape. But he has a lot of business to attend to, and it starts with Alyx.
What if I could offer you something you don't know you want?
With G-Man's origins still yet to be known, at least giving you his briefcase is another incentive for the player to engage in the cutscene rather than watching it, since you're still in control of the character.
Dad?
And seeing the scene again will always break my heart, with how long we've waited to even get a glimpse of a continuation, for 13 years.
The future. This is the moment where you watch your father die. Unless you were to take matters into your own hands. Release your father, Miss Vance. Good. As a consequence of your action, this entity will continue, and this entity will not.
With G-Man explaining why it is such a consequence that the advisors will live rather than Eli is so off-putting to me. Is the existence of advisors more important than we think? And is there something this specific one can do that Eli can't?
A previous hire has been unable or unwilling to perform the tasks laid before him. We have struggled to find a suitable replacement.
And this moment has always sent shivers down my spine. Not only is this the highest fidelity we've seen Gordon Freeman in, but also the first time within at least the mainline games we've seen Gordon Freeman. And oh man, he got the ponytail.
Sell out.
No! I just want to go home. Send me home!
I'm afraid you misunderstand the situation, Miss Vance.
Wait! Hey, wait! Wait! Wait!
G-Man has now hired Alyx, and she is now waiting assignment. The credits roll, and after a title drop, we get this bombshell of a post-credits scene.
Vital signs critical. Seek medical attention.
Gordon! Gordon! Wake up, Gordon! She's gone, Gordon. She's gone. Son of a bitch, it has unforeseen consequences. I knew it. When I get my hands on him, I'm gonna shoot him. Gotta figure this out. Right now. Come on, Gordon. We got work to do.
If this doesn't lead up to Half-Life 3, then I don't know what will. Either way, I'm so excited to see what Valve is cooking. It's just if I have enough patience to wait for an announcement. Hopefully at this year's Game Awards, or maybe in 2077. Now, for a quick review of this game. Is it a perfect VR title? Yes and no. While I care for a lot of the fantastic implementation and thoughtful features Valve added to the game, it still lacks a lot of replay value. Sure, there are tons of resin to collect so you can upgrade your weapons, but other than that, there isn't a lot of stuff to do. There's also the workshop where you can download mods with just a single click, but by the time you've experienced the mods you've downloaded, that's about it. There are also Steam achievements, which I had a blast collecting them all with. Even this stupid gnome, which meant playing through the game again with a handicap. But again, once you've done all of those, there isn't a lot more to do. And by the time, you'll probably move on to other games. Either way, I'm so excited to see the future of the Half-Life series. By the time of writing and recording this, there are a lot of speculations and rumors of an upcoming Half-Life title, and if there's some sort of announcement, I will react to it. So subscribe and stay tuned. Otherwise, there will be enough copium for me for the rest of the next few decades. Thank you so much for watching my first ever commentary video. I really hope you enjoyed this video as much as I did making it. And if you didn't, feel free to leave any kind of criticism in the comments below. I'm more than open to learn and improve my skills for any future videos. Leave a comment below what you think, like or dislike the video, and remember to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.